Welcome to the second last chapter in this Fire and Special Perils webinar. Chapter 6. In this chapter, we will discuss fire and special perils insurance policy limitations and policy exclusions. Subtopic 1. Fire and special perils insurance policy limitations. Let's first define what policy limitations are. Policy limitations refer to the specific conditions, restrictions, or exclusions outlined in an insurance policy that define the extent of coverage and certain circumstances under which the insurance benefits may not apply. These limitations help define the scope of the policy and clarify the circumstances in which the insurance company will not provide coverage or benefits to the policyholder. Understanding policy limitations is crucial for policyholders to ensure they have a clear understanding of what their insurance policy covers and any potential gaps in coverage. Having understood that, let's now turn our attention to fire and special period policy. What limitations are there in this policy? Fire and special perils insurance policies come with certain limitations that outline the scope of coverage and certain conditions that may affect the policy's applicability. These limitations are essential for policyholders to understand to ensure they have adequate coverage for their specific needs. Here are some common limitations that may apply to fire and special perils insurance policies. 1. Named perils coverage. Some policies offer named perils coverage, which means they only cover specific perils explicitly listed in the policy. If a peril is not named in the policy, it may not be covered. Policyholders should review the list of covered perils to ensure it aligns with their risk exposures. 2. Policy sublimits. Certain categories of property, such as jewelry, art, or electronic equipment, may have sublimits or maximum coverage amounts within the policy. It's essential to be aware of these sublimits and consider separate coverage if higher limits are needed. 3. Deductibles. Fire and special perils insurance policies often have deductibles, which are the amounts the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurance coverage kicks in. Policyholders should review the deductible amounts and choose a level that fits their budget and risk tolerance. 4. Unoccupied or vacant properties. Some policies may have limitations or exclusions for unoccupied or vacant properties. If the insured property is left unoccupied for a certain period, coverage may be restricted or may require additional endorsements. 5. Policy endorsements. Policyholders should carefully review any endorsements or special provisions attached to the policy. Endorsements can modify or add coverage to the standard policy, and policyholders need to be aware of their implications. 6. Negligence. Fire and special perils insurance typically covers accidental damages, but damages resulting from the insured's negligence may be excluded. For example, leaving a stove unattended and causing a fire may not be covered. 7. Underinsurance. If the insured property is undervalued or underinsured, the policy's coverage may not be sufficient to cover the full cost of a loss. Policyholders should ensure their property is adequately valued to avoid being underinsured. 8. Limitations on business interruption. If the policy includes coverage for business interruption, there may be limitations on the period for which business income will be covered or specific criteria that must be met for the coverage to apply. 9. Subrogation. The insurance company may have the right of subrogation, which means they can seek reimbursement from third parties responsible for the insured loss. Policyholders should cooperate with the insurance company in subrogation efforts. 10. Policy renewal conditions. policyholders should be aware of any conditions or changes that may apply at the time of policy renewal. Renewal conditions can impact coverage, premiums, or policy terms. To ensure adequate coverage and to address specific needs, policyholders should thoroughly review their insurance policies, discuss any concerns with their insurance provider or agent, and consider additional endorsements or riders if necessary. Being well informed about the limitations of the policy can help policyholders make informed decisions and mitigate potential gaps in coverage. Subtopic 2. Common Fire and Special Perils Exclusions. Fire and special perils insurance policies typically include certain exclusions that specify events or circumstances for which coverage will not be provided. These exclusions vary among insurance providers and policies, but some common exclusions that are frequently found in such policies include: 1. War and nuclear perils. Damages caused by war, acts of foreign enemies, hostilities, whether declared or not, civil war, revolution, insurrection, or nuclear perils are usually excluded from coverage. 2. Wear and tear. Normal wear and tear, gradual deterioration, and maintenance-related issues are typically not covered. This means that damages resulting from aging, corrosion, or mechanical breakdown are excluded. 3. Intentional acts. Any damage caused intentionally by the insured or with their consent is not covered. This exclusion is in place to prevent fraudulent claims. 4. Terrorism. Losses arising from acts of terrorism or acts committed by terrorist organizations may be excluded from coverage. Some policies offer optional coverage for terrorism at an additional premium. 5. Government confiscation or destruction. Losses due to government seizure, confiscation, or destruction of property are often excluded. 6. Flood in some cases. While fire and special perils policies often cover water damage caused by burst pipes or sprinkler systems, damages resulting from external flooding, example, due to river overflow, may be excluded. Flood insurance is typically a separate policy. 7. Earth movement. Damages caused by earth movements, such as earthquakes, landslides, or subsidence, may be excluded. However, earthquake coverage can be purchased separately. 8. Pollution and contamination. Damage resulting from pollution or contamination, such as chemical spills or environmental pollution, is often not covered. 9. Acts of employees or employees' property. Any damage caused by employees' intentional acts or damage to their own property may be excluded. 10. Illegal activities. Damages arising from illegal activities, such as illegal storage of hazardous materials, may be excluded. 11. Consequential losses. Fire and special perils insurance policies may not cover indirect or consequential losses resulting from a covered peril, such as loss of profit or loss of market value. It's crucial for policyholders to thoroughly review their insurance policy documents to understand the specific exclusions and limitations applicable to their coverage. Additionally, if there are particular perils or risks that the policyholder wants coverage for, they can discuss those with their insurance provider and explore the possibility of adding optional endorsements or additional coverage to meet their needs. End of Chapter 6. We will be back with conclusions and a summary of key points. Watch it next.